The northern route of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage starts right here. I'm at the headwaters of the Mississippi River here in northern Minnesota. You can see behind me Lake Itasca flows into this stream. The historically vital waterway in American life, the Mississippi River, actually starts right here. And originally, when explorers discovered this river, they named it in honor of the Virgin Mary, which is also fitting because this northern route of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage is referred to as the Marian route. The bishop here will bless these waters, and then pilgrims will process on a journey to the Eucharistic Congress. This pilgrimage will spring to life at the source.
To me, it takes us all the way back to the roots of our country and the first missionaries who came to discover the head of the Mississippi River.
Once named the River of the Immaculate Conception by a Jesuit missionary in the 17th century, on Pentecost Sunday, Bishop Andrew Cousins in the Diocese of Crookston, Minnesota, will bless the source of the mighty Mississippi to begin a pilgrimage guided by what the Church calls the source and summit of Christian life.
Jesus promised that he would remain with us until the end of the world. And the most concrete way he does that is through his living presence in the Eucharist.
At any point along the way, the public is welcome to come and see Christ as this 2-month Eucharistic pilgrimage winds through parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana on the way to Indianapolis, making around 175 stops with time for Mass, adoration, praise and worship, testimonies, and food and fellowship. This northern leg of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage will pass through larger cities like Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and Chicago, and more rural regions of the Midwest.
We are so excited that our little community here is being able to host this amazing event.
Maria Terrace, a Catholic school teacher, is helping with logistics as the pilgrimage will stop at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Vermillion, Minnesota, a town of about 500 people.
I think our little communities have so much to offer.
And that includes a good night's sleep. Maria has offered her home as a resting place for some of the perpetual pilgrims selected to process during the entire 2 months.
I'm sure that Jesus in the Eucharist will touch this earth and this country in a very profound way.
Kai Weiss is one of those pilgrims on this Marian route, named for the significant stop to be made outside Green Bay, Wisconsin at the shrine of Our Lady of Champion, the site of the only church-approved Marian apparition in the U.S.
Our Lady of Champion will be so amazing, and I think our whole team is just so enthusiastic to go there.
The pilgrimage will include other Marian stops like the University of Notre Dame, named after the Virgin Mary in South Bend, Indiana, and the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Diversity within the church will be on display as Latino and Polish communities host Eucharistic celebrations in Chicago. And stops will be made at an African American parish in Indianapolis and this Vietnamese parish in Minneapolis.
I personally think this revival will have a great effect on those who have fallen away.
Father Tim Tran is the pilgrimage point person in the Archdiocese of St. Paul in Minneapolis. He hopes many people outside the walls of Catholicism will feel welcomed back in.
This revival, the processions, will be a public display, and hopefully it can foment the fragrance of Christ and attract people's senses, not just exteriorly, but interior senses, right? Their desire for the infinite.
We spoke to Father Tran just miles from a historically significant spot for Eucharistic revival in the U.S. In July, this pilgrimage will end in Indianapolis for the 10th National Eucharistic Congress. But the last National Congress, the 9th one, took place 83 years ago here in St. Paul, Minnesota. A piece of history will connect that Congress to the procession planned here. This silver monstrance was used to hold the Eucharist back in 1941 and will be used again.
A nice little piece there to our past. So we only use it for very special occasions at the seminary, but this is certainly a special occasion to bring it out again.
Father Joseph Taphorn is the rector of the St. Paul Seminary. The Eucharistic procession here will start at the doors of the seminary and continue on famous Summit Avenue, home to the longest stretch of Victorian-era homes in the United States. The governor's mansion can also be found here, and a couple miles from that, the mother church of the Archdiocese, the Cathedral of St. Paul, which stands on a hill, and below that, the Minnesota State Capitol building. all connected to this popular street.
The road is only closed a few times a year. One is for the Twin Cities Marathon, and which is a fun event every fall, but pretty exciting that it'll be closed here for this Eucharistic procession as we gather in faith to celebrate together.
Besides busy city streets, the Marian pilgrimage will continue on roads less traveled, passing scenic Midwest landscapes, crisscrossing over land alongside water. Luckily, pilgrims won't have to paddle on this Marian route of the Eucharistic pilgrimage, but they will be passing by many lakes like this one here in Minnesota, a state known as the land of 10,000 lakes. Not far from these shores, pilgrims will process along the Paul Bunyan State Trail. A mix of prayer and community will be found everywhere, from forest trails to churches and shrines, and even on a baseball field.
At the ball field, we want to be able to feed the crowd.
Leanne King is helping organize the stop in small-town Mora, Minnesota, at a youth ball field, a gathering place that could draw in the wider community not only for its familiar location, but also for the food.
Like Jesus had food when there was a crowd, we're going to feed people too, and then they're going to be spiritually nourished as we go on our procession through town with the Eucharist.
The procession in Mora will then make a number of unique prayer stops, including in front of a nursing home to pray for the elderly and sick, and at City Hall to pray for peace and unity. Prayer intentions will continue in the Diocese of Lafayette, Indiana, with special blessings to be given to educators, healthcare workers, farmers, and first responders. For Bishop Cousins, the chair of the National Eucharistic Congress, the hope is that this 2-month-long pilgrimage will be a source of renewed love for Christ among all people.
We don't yet know the impact of this, and we won't know it, maybe for years. But I believe the impact's going to be powerful.
Mark Irons, EWTN News In Depth.